CCTV's Roee Ruttenberg joins us from our newsroom. And Roee, the government is under growing pressure to do something about this. But what sort of changes are we talking about?
Well, Mike, basically the threshold for deportation will be lowered. So any refugee or asylum seeker that's convicted of engaging in the sorts of activities that we heard about on New Year's Eve in Cologne, like sexually assaulting or violating another person, acting violently against police, those people will be removed, I should say, from the country if German lawmakers approve these new proposals. Also included serial offenders committing what's called property offenses, so shoplifting and destruction of property, and youth offenders. Young people will not be exempt from these new rules. Now, at the moment, deportation in Germany is considered a last resort because usually the risk to the life of the person back home is considered greater than the crime committed in Germany. In most cases, though, we expect that sort of consideration will be ignored.
Criminals must be brought to justice consequently in Germany. And with regard to foreign criminals, deportation is one of these consequences.
The German minister speaking there, the justice minister, I should say, he also warned against conflating, quote, the innocent overall majority of refugees with, quote, criminal foreigners. Mike?
And I think we're already seeing some of that, aren't we? I mean, there were more protests overnight, this time in Leipzig. What more can you tell us about that?
Indeed, a number of different things actually happening there in the biggest city in Saxony. First, the local offshoot of the right-wing anti-Islamic movement, Pegida, was marking its one-year anniversary. The group is called Legida locally, and some 2,000 people attended what was a mostly peaceful rally. There were signs against, quote, rape-fugees and several speeches, many of them you can see there, calling for Germany's Angela Merkel, the chancellor, to resign over her handling of the country's refugee situation. That was one. There was also a leftist counter-protest led by the city's mayor, much more solemn, with candles and signs welcoming the refugees. So two very different messages in Leipzig. Then apparently right-wing hooligans began attacking property in a largely leftist part of the city. Most of them were enthusiasts of a local football team, which draws a lot of its support from the same politically oriented people as Legida does. But police believe their activities were not part of Legida's official rally. More than 200 people were registered by police, not quite arrested, but their activities were recorded. Mike, the government naturally is condemning this latest violence.